Okay, so as you might have guessed, we are back at the piano because some sweet summer child, who I will not name, said, "Oh, well, that's no big deal. They all do MIDI now, don't they?" Um, and I didn't want to laugh at them, but I was kind of inspired to not take apart, but expose some of the inner workings of a player piano. So, if you remember, you pump your feet real hard and it does this. And so on and so forth. As my grandmother used to call it, that's your workout. Um, but I did want to. Initially, this started as a quest for serial numbers to kind of figure out a little bit about this piano and where it came from. I know for a fact it's been restored at least once because my grandfather restored it. But before that, it's kind of a mystery. So I asked Grandma, and she said that she wasn't sure, but she knew there were numbers on the inside, and it opens up pretty easily. So if you want to open it up and take a look, it's in there. So Saturday night, because I'm a wild and crazy kind of person, I did, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Okay, we're gonna pan up a little bit, and there's the roll. So it's a completely mechanical device. There's nothing digital on it. There isn't even a vacuum to run the roll and the bellows and all that. You do it by foot power, though it's apparently, I'm told, it's pretty easy to convert it to a vacuum driven thing, but I don't really have any interest in doing that. So let me just go over a few of the things I have figured out about this. I'm sure you can Google it if you want to know more, but I am my father's and my grandfather's daughter, and the easiest way for me to learn about this stuff is to take it apart and look at it. So, warning, I have not disassembled anything that isn't meant to be disassembled, so don't worry about that. But what you have here is a roll of paper that feels, it's got a coating on it. It's almost like a waxy sort of paper that gives it a little bit more stiffness to it. And what happens is all these little dots run across a brass tracking bar. And if I could get behind and show you what it looks like, I would, but it's a really terrible angle to try to get a camera in. But basically there are little rubber hoses, like these guys over here that you can see, going into every slot of this tracking bar. So every time you pump it, it sucks air through these little holes in the piano roll, and that causes the keys to depress, and it causes it to make a sound. So that's the first part. The second part is this whole mechanism over here, which is a bellows mechanism that when it operates, it turns these chains, which in turn drive the roll over here to spin. So there's that part of it. What else? It's hard. It's hard because I'm still figuring it out myself. Basically, all right, now I'm gonna get the flashlight and we're gonna go down under here. If you come down here, underneath, there are your pedals right there that you push. Behind that big black thing hides the main bellows, and that feeds those two little guys up there, which in turn kind of split the air to drive both the tracking bar and the action of the keys. So we've got that, and if you can see, it's incredibly intricate with the levers and the hoses and everything else. Like, it's not, this is a model of ingenuity, really, is what it is. There's no circuit boards, nothing digital, it doesn't plug in. It's fascinating. And I've been down here on my hands and knees for hours, pushing the pedals, pushing those pedals. There's levers up here that also operate the sustain and silence pedals. And it's just fascinating. And the cat is completely enthralled by the fact that I have this apart. She's been in it twice and I've shooed her out. But, I mean, and you can see up here, Stroud, New York, the soundboard behind this whole thing. Let me get the flashlight. The soundboard behind this whole thing is just a regular upright piano. There's nothing, as far as I can tell, nothing special about that. Oh, maybe I can get the back of the... There you go. You can kind of see a little bit how all those rubber hoses go into the back of the tracking bar. But anyway, yes, the soundboard is nothing different than a regular upright piano, but the mechanism that sits in front of it is kind of what drives it. So anyway, this is a long-winded explanation for how the inside of a player piano works. I've been hunting for serial numbers. I've been moderately successful. I suspect that based on the numbers, the mechanism on the inside is much newer than the case of the piano, but I don't really have any way to prove that, only that the numbers don't match. But I'm working on it, and if anybody, you know, has any information on that, that would be great. But anyway, that's it doesn't work by MIDI. It works by people power and mechanical motion and pure human ingenuity, and I think that is what makes it the coolest of all. So if you watch this, thank you so much. If you clicked out halfway, I forgive you. It's not for everybody. But I also do feel the need to mention that I own like several $1,000s of technology, you know, TVs, computers, smartphones, whatever. But today I opened up this entire thing and lovingly dusted every inch of it that I could reach, you know, carefully checked all the connections, carefully checked all the, you know, the chains and the drives and everything, which is something I've never done anywhere before, but it's really just because this instrument is so special to me. So that's all. That's been my Sunday morning project. Thank you for coming along on this ride, and have a little music to sing you out. Here we go.